argument.
I get it.
You agreed with Ali,
I agree.
when he flipped
I license. So,
He can't do that with me.
I'm not genuine all the time. Your creator, he made something from...
No, before you go to my creator, I want to take it from your perspective.
My perspective.
Okay? Because my perspective is pretty clear. We have one God who created everything, you and me, the universe, everything, and he sustains all this.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much clear from my perspective. It might seem very simplistic to you, but to be honest with you, even logically thinking, like I said, something cannot come from nothing, so you must have something.
This is human
God came
love.
from nothing.
Say again?
God came from nothing.
God came from nothing. You know, that argument itself implies you don't know who God is or what God
Well, I
is.
don't claim to.
Because God doesn't come, God always existed.
You're saying no can come from nothing.
No, come means originate from. There's a difference. Come from, okay, doesn't apply to God because he always existed. If something is eternal, then it doesn't need to come into existence. The cause and effect, the Kalam cosmological argument goes like this. If something begins to exist, then it must have a cause. And this cause has to be something. It cannot be nothing. Ball is in your court now.
Have we investigated all possibilities?
Show me another possibility. I gave you the simplistic understanding of the possibilities as being something or nothing. We already ruled out nothing. The only thing now exists is something. So before we define the something, you show me what are the other possibilities. Go on. Ball is still in your court.
The ball's in my court.
Yeah, pray to read it.
I have no answer.
Because
I do not know.
Because there cannot be an alternative. You cannot have nothing as an alternative.
Once again.
You must have something as an alternative.
Is this a
So the
dichotomy?
the only logical alternative is there is something.
There
And
is
that's something, and that's
there's not something.
no, there is something, of course. It cannot be nothing.
A dichotomy.
No,
There
it's-
is something or there's not something.
Yeah, but it doesn't apply in this case. We already ruled out not something, which is nothing.
Once again,
If it's not something, it's nothing.
there is a
Unless you can give me an
creator,
example of
there-
not something.
There is a creator or there's not a creator.
No, you're jumping the gun. We haven't talked.
That's the
No.
dichotomy.
You have to first define what a creator is before you say there is no creator. I define nothing, remember? You define creator to me now.
I never said there is a creator. I'm not asserting.
No, you gave me the dichotomy.
I'm not
Now you have to
asserting.
define the two different alternatives that you have. A creator or no creator. So go on, define what a creator is and what a non-creator is. To me, a non-creator would be a creation, if you ask me. Simple as that.
You're asserting there's a creator.
I told you I don't want to jump the gun, remember?
Yeah.
In fact, the reason I didn't do that is because I don't want someone who is agnostic or an atheist to first start with the notion that there is a creator. I want to take it to you in what you believe as logic, rationality, science. Okay? I gave you logic, something and nothing, the definition of nothing. I gave you something from science, like for example, the cosmological argument. Yes, the cause and effect. That is science. If you want, I could have just jumped into the spiritual belief as a religion, believing in God, but then obviously it wouldn't be neither here nor there for you because you don't believe in that. So I will take you along the path that you believe in, that you have faith in.
No.
No?
Please don't.
Why not?
Because-
I would do that honestly if it was my child or if it was my friend. I would go along the
you're
path of what they already
patronizing.
believe. No, I'm not.
You're
No, I'm not.
patronizing.
I'm not.
I'm not your child, man.
Okay. Let's talk about the creator. Come on. Define creator. Let's
I
go with my way of thinking, my way of understanding. Go on. Define to me a creator.
I don't know.
So don't bring up those terms next time. Creator, non-creator. Why would you use terms that you don't know?
jumping.
I'm not. I'm using your own words, your terms. The one that you.
asserted there's a creator.
Hold
I'm not
on.
asserting-
Did I do that? I was taking him along the path that he believes in.
Nothing.
I was trying to avoid the term creator all
sorry,
along.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll tell you what, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me take you to something that you firmly believe in. By the way, do you believe in science? Do you believe in empirical evidence?
It's not a belief system.
Okay, no. Do you know about empirical evidences? Okay. I know some people like to use these words to, okay. Empirical evidence is what?
Using the data to show evidence.
Very good. Do you need to have observable, testable information, or do you just have information like the concepts that I gave you?
The latter.
So what? Just a concept?
Not on all occasions.
You mean the former?
Sorry, on the former.
Yeah.
Not on all occasions do you need.
Okay. What information or knowledge will convince you that you have consciousness? That is empirical. That comes under empirical evidence.
That's a tough one. It's a very, very tough one. You got me on that. You got me.
You know why? You know why many people struggle with this? Because, by the way, it's not just you. It is something that the scientists themselves call it the hard problem of consciousness. The reason for that is because consciousness is not something that you have data on in terms of, because you might perceive things differently as having a conscious individual to your friend over there, to the sisters here, to myself. We might see the same thing, but we have different way of perceiving it. Yes? We all will agree on one thing, that we all have consciousness. Because there are faculties that you're using right now. You're questioning, your rationality.
Yeah.
Everything depends on your consciousness. Yet you have no evidence for consciousness. That is the beauty of what you as a creation of God are. That even you as a creation of God is, I'll tell you why you brought God here. Because even without your empirical evidence, wait, I'm getting there. I'm coming there.
Where did God come from?
Bro, I'm coming.
We're talking about empirical.
As soon as the word God comes, he gets all alert.
Yeah.
Because it's like some sort of a bad word for him or something. By the way, listen, the reason I brought God in is because with your empirical evidence, with your lack of empirical evidence, you already believe in something which is closer to you than your other belief, which is God Almighty.
No.
Do you believe you have consciousness?
Do I believe?
Do you believe you have consciousness? Seriously?
Believe.
He needs to think about that?
No.
He's using his consciousness right now. The fact that he's thinking about it,
I'm using my faculties.
which is based on your consciousness.
My senses.
Your consciousness again.
My mind.
Your consciousness
My brain.
again. All of that. The central core of that is your consciousness.
It's my brain.
Trust me, when you are in a vegetative
I
state,
can't trust you.
bro,
I don't know you.
Bro, you don't need to know me. When you go to hospital with a person in a vegetative state, he is conscious. The reason he's not called a dead vegetative person is because he's still conscious. His vitals are still on. Your vitals are on because you have some sort of consciousness. Maybe it's limited to what you as a person standing right now are.
It's very complex.
So it's not. It's simple, brother. It's simple. Anyone who denies consciousness believes they don't exist anymore. Anyone who denies, including an atheist, including an agnostic, including a scientist. You can never deny your consciousness, my friend. Because without that, none of your senses will work. You will not be able to communicate to me. You will not be able to reason.
I don't know enough.
But you believe it. That is my point exactly.
It's believable.
Remember earlier you said you need something like data. You need knowledge. It should be observable. It should be testable.
It's reasonable to believe.
Brother, none of that comes under, none of that empirical evidence applies to your consciousness for its existence.
Okay.
But you believe it. And you know it. I'm using both terms now, believe and know. So you cannot deny either, my friend. But trust me, in this case, it is a certain faith, and I would call it blind faith even. I would go to that extent. Yes, because look, the only person who can actually prove your consciousness is yourself. Because you're the only one who feels things. You're the only one who says that I exist. You're the only one. You're the only one.
God.
Say again? Yeah, the reason I brought God in is that a person cannot deny his consciousness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even with the lack of empirical evidence.
Yes.
And the same person is asking for empirical evidence for God.
Why?
He still didn't get it, did he?
Of course.
Okay, let me backtrack.
Why?
Why? Because when it comes to God, you seek empirical evidence. When it comes to your consciousness, you believe it on blind faith.
That's what I was telling you earlier.
No. My friend, I'm not after empirical evidence.
I like the way you took credit for all that. Alhamdulillah.
Did I ask for the mathematics of God?
No, you said the God, what's it called? The God,
Was it?
what's that called? The machine, instrument for God, God instrument.
The godometer.
Godometer. Yeah, again, you're looking for empirical evidence.
That's empirical evidence.
Yes.
But there's also other methods to use.
No. I'll tell you what.
Philosophically.
You give me a method that determines metaphysics. Go on. Because that is exactly what you're seeking. Your gorometer is the instrument which can detect metaphysics. And your trust me.
Philosophy.
No, metaphysics.
Yeah.
Philosophy comes within your consciousness as well.
Metaphysics within philosophy, no?
No, philosophy can include the study of metaphysics as well. I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you need an instrument to detect
No, I don't.
the metaphysical
No, I don't.
elements.
I do not.
So why are you asking for a gorometer then?
Because we was on about empiricism before,
Yeah.
but now I'm saying I don't need a gorometer.
So how will you determine something that is metaphysical
Yeah.
and it exists like your consciousness?
Rational.
No, you can't apply rationality.
What you do?
Because, wait, your rationality, that's like circular argument.
Yeah.
It's dependent on your consciousness.
Logic.
Same thing again. All that is based on your
What can I
consciousness.
do?
You can only believe in it.
Open-minded and
I-
accept.
You can only believe in it.
But you
I am
can rebut
open-minded. I want to hear your.
By the way, do you believe in metaphysics?
it. You have to start from
You do? Give me an example.
Metaphysically,
Go on.
they say.
That's the worst example. Metaphysics. What is it? How do you define metaphysics?
Above physics, something
What, biology? Geometry?
numbers,
Oh, those abstract. I wouldn't call it.
structural things.
I wouldn't
are
call it.
metaphysical,
No. I wouldn't call it. Nothing is a concept. Numbers abstract. Metaphysical things actually do exist if you believe in metaphysics, like your soul, like your consciousness. Yes.
No, I don't like it.
What was that?
You're talking about Gabriel.
No, like I said, look, a person believes in science.
No.
If you're going to make him, by the way, I was surprised you said you believe in metaphysics, and yet
Yeah,
you cannot
love,
give me a single.
Love is metaphysical.
No, bro, that's just the emotion. Who told you it's metaphysics? Who told you it's metaphysics?
I must have got it wrong.
Yeah, you definitely got it wrong.
Love is not
Emotion
metaphysical.
is an emotion.
Emotional are not metaphysical.
No, they're not metaphysical in that sense. Metaphysics means something that you cannot
Greater than.
use. Sorry, you cannot use empirical evidence for
Love.
to determine.
Love. The
Again, emotion, yes. But like I said, all these things, they emanate from consciousness. So you're just telling me your consciousness, because without consciousness, you cannot experience love. Am I right? You need to first, what you're doing is you're putting the cart before the horse. You need to first acknowledge that you have consciousness before you start.
I'm agreeing with you. I have consciousness.
On what basis? Where is the evidence that you have consciousness?
I think, therefore I am.
Yes, like I said, subjective. Remember you
So
said, I
subject-
think,
yeah.
therefore I am. So only you can imagine that. And only
Subjectively.
you can think that. Okay? So it's not, empirical evidence is an objective evidence, by the way.
yeah.
It's not subjective.
Okay.
Okay? Otherwise the scientist will throw it out. So you wouldn't be much of a scientist if you're going based on just I think and I know.
So, again,
I think angels exist. Okay? So you should believe me. I think, therefore you should believe. No, it doesn't work like that in science. The reason scientists call it the hard problem of consciousness is for this, my friend. Are you with me?
of course.
Okay, so for you to say I believe in metaphysics, that means you believe in your soul, you believe in your consciousness, you believe all these things with zero evidence of empiricism.
Metaphysics is not holy.
Yeah, metaphysics, the whole definition of metaphysics is something beyond our naturalistic world.
Yeah, which is a very number of things, no?
Yeah, it
So
is.
not-
It is. But like I said,
The whole of metaphysics.
there is no empirical evidence for those things. Let's put it that in the simplest form.
It's the language, no?
No, it's not. It's the scientific terminology.
We're using fuzzy language.
We have to use language to communicate. Come on.
I understand, but I'm on that fuzzy language. Whereas we can't get empirical evidence for love, but it can manifest.
But you believe in it.
Believe in it.
Thank you.
It's reasonable to believe in it.
Thank you. You see how we stopped using the term I know? Yes? How we ended up on I believe? Yes? Which is exactly the point I was to want to make to him.
Twisting the word.
That's what I call Hadouken moment. All right, Jazakallah khair. Look, my friend, it's inevitable, trust me. It's inevitable.
What's inevitable?
Metaphysical world. It's inevitable. Unless you stop believing in all your emotions. Yes? Trust me, you cannot go, your pets, a cat or a dog, okay? You cannot measure the amount of love you have for your pet and the amount of love you have for your mother. You cannot do that. Science cannot do that. Only you can tell that.
You're messing with the language now.
I'm not. I'm messing with emotions. It's gone deeper than that. Language is just a medium.
Love, we don't measure love empirically, no?
You can't.
No, emotionally. We're using the word measure as a... It's not like that.
No, but that's what I'm telling you. Empirically, you cannot determine things like emotions, like love,
That's
like
what
hate.
I'm saying. No, but when you mention measure, it puts a thing in the people's heads. That
I'm using empirical evidence.
It's not empirical, though, is it?
It is. Measurement is empirical.
Measurement is empirical.
Yes.
The way you're using it for love is wrong.
No, I'm saying you cannot use
Yeah, you cannot.
empirical evidence for love.
Yeah, you're using a mathematical term.
Empirical is a mathematical term.
No, you're saying the word measurement. You're using an empirical term for it.
Oh, I see what you mean. So what's wrong with using mathematics in empirical evidence?
You can.
Isn't it? You have
Not
to.
for things like love.
But I think we are talking cross purposes here.
Yeah, we are.
I am saying you cannot measure love. Not that you can. The term measure was used to communicate to
Can
you.
you measure your God?
In what terms? That he exists? Yes. It's metaphysical. Okay? You know, I'll give an example. If you're going to start looking for plastic using a metal detector, would you detect any plastic? So you're using the wrong tool if you're going to start using empirical evidence to determine the metaphysical, including angels and God.
What tool do you have to use then?
Of, for example, your consciousness. You use a metaphysical faculty, your faculty of reasoning, which all depends on which is all metaphysical, to determine the metaphysical.
So again, is that a subjective measurement?
Is that a subjective? Not if you're going to talk about God. I'll tell you why. Because then I will use my logical faculty reasoning. No, it's still using the same thing.
Are you using a subjective method?
No, it's not.
It's know.
It's called objective reasoning.
Objective reasoning.
Yes.
How can it be objective? It's personal to you.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Like, remember I asked you earlier, can something come from nothing? Is that objective?
No.
Cause and effect. Is that objective?
Come on.
What do you mean, come on? You answered those questions already.
You're shifting.
No, you're backtracking.
Hey!
Okay, once again, can something come from nothing? Is that objective or subjective? The answer to that question,
Answer that question.
is that subjective or...
I do not know.
You answered it already. He forgot.
No.
Oh, man. How can you not know?
I cannot know because I haven't found nothing.
Because it doesn't exist.
I don't know.
Oh, you expect to find it one day?
No.
Wow.
Well, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Do you know? Can you define nothing?
Come on.
We are going back to the same thing.